Fabinho looks set to be leaving Liverpool as the Jordan Henderson deal to leave Liverpool seems to stall. Elsewhere, Keeman Kelleher seems to be a target of Wolves. Romelu Lukaku's situation takes another turn, and Sofian Amrabat. Manchester United or Liverpool? That seems to be what may be in his future this summer. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Yes, we are talking an all-new news live stream today, talking about some of the biggest headlines that are buzzing around the world of football right now, but talking about Fabinho and Henderson, talking about some other stories as well, but mainly Fabinho and Henderson, of course, because Liverpool fan and, of course, big Liverpool stories dominating football right now. But as I always say with these kind of things, do hit the like button, do subscribe, do get involved in the chat, do get involved in the comment section. I'm sure everything will make for great and interesting reading and will always be greatly appreciated, of course, when it all does come around. And of course, get involved, talk to me about the stories that I'm talking about, talk to me about anything that you guys want to talk about. Anything of that nature will make for a great and interesting read and obviously overall stream. So do get involved. Would love to hear from you all. But without further ado, let's get on with the stream. Let's talk some football. I'm going to start things off with the Fabinho Henderson stuff. The Fabinho Henderson stuff that has been dominating Liverpool and a bit of football for the past couple of days now. Of course, everything does seem to be pointing, particularly on Fabinho's end, towards a done deal. Everything being worked out, everything being accepted, everything being given the green light, everything being eventually confirmed and made official. Fabinho will be leaving Liverpool, it seems, at some point in the very near future. Of course, a couple of days ago, David Ornstein broke the news that Al Ittihad of Saudi Arabia was going to be putting in a bid for Fabinho, and everything seems to have taken off from that point forward. He's not going to be he's not with the Liverpool squad that is on their pre-season tour right now. He has been left off of it, despite being originally put on the list of players to go. So that seems to be a big indication that, of course, things are advancing very, very quickly. So he does seem to be out the door there. And on the Jordan Henderson front, things seem to have stalled just a little bit. Everything seems to be agreed in terms of personal terms, and the player is open and accepting to the move of moving away. But things have just stalled on the club's end of things. They can't seem to agree a fee as of right now. The Saudi Arabian team were convinced that they had this deal tied in the bag and as a free transfer at that. But Liverpool, obviously, originally it was reported it was 10 million that Liverpool wanted. That figure seems to have doubled to 20 million that seemingly Liverpool are asking for. Now, I think it's fair. Saudi Arabian teams have been throwing money at anyone and everyone in this transfer window, it seems. So why not? Why not try and exploit this for as much as it can be? And for a player that's given 12 years of his career to Liverpool, obviously when we bought him, he was somewhere in the region of 20 million. Why not see if we can get that price tag back? And I think it'll be a good deal for Liverpool, money-wise at least, money-wise, if this is to go through. I've said before, when talking about this issue, that I do not personally agree with this. Now, 40 million for Fabinho and 20 million for Henderson may seem like decent figures in terms of the money aspect. I still think maybe we could get more for Fabinho if we were to really try and turn the screw a little bit in terms of negotiations. But 40 million is still nothing to turn your nose up at. 40 million is still a decent figure, decent fee for a guy who has spent the past 5 years at Liverpool, played very, very well, obviously helped Liverpool to win everything there is at a domestic level and everything there is to win for him at the time on a European level as well. It's a very good figure to have, and it will obviously go somewhere, hopefully, to recuperating some funds that either Liverpool has spent already in this transfer window, or maybe some funds that Liverpool can go on to spend in this transfer window, because believe me, Reinforcements are going to be needed if these two are to leave. But the issue I've got with these two departures is that they both have traits or attributes or qualities that are not really in abundance at Liverpool right now, not really in abundance with that Liverpool midfield. Fabinho, for example, is the heart of that midfield, the number 6, the destroyer. We don't have another player like that. Now, I get it. Fabinho's performances this season have dropped off a cliff. I don't think I've ever seen a bigger drop-off in a player's performances than I have seen in Fabinho this season. I've called him out time and time again. I don't know what the hell this Fabinho is, but it is like the film Space Jam, where aliens have seemingly taken his ability and everything. Now, I know that it's not necessarily all on him. There are other elements to it as well. It's not just necessarily him. It's the other midfielders that you have alongside him that complement him in some ways, or in this season's case, not so complement him. But he has dropped off a big cliff this season in terms of his performances, in terms of his form, in terms of the Fabinho that we once knew and loved from a year ago, where, you know, he was a big part of the Liverpool team, was the heartbeat of that Liverpool midfield. And of course, he was helping Liverpool towards a possible quadruple that, of course, only ended up being a double. But the possibility was still very much on. For 40 million, it's not so bad. But like I say, for the player he is, we don't have another player like that. We don't have another player that is as hard, that is a destroyer, that is as physical, that is as smart. Because let's face it, when he's on his game and when he's on point, Fabinho is arguably one of the best defensive midfielders on the planet. In terms of being in the right place at the right time, his passing, winning the ball back, even cynical fouls, as much as it may be a bit of a dirty art, the cynical fouls bit is smart play. And it's something that obviously is a bit of street smart creeping into the game more and more. And you're seeing it all the time. And every player has those players. Manchester City has it with Rodri. You know, United have it with Casemiro. Chelsea used to do it all the time, you know, even going back to the likes of like Claude Makelele and other players along those lines, your Michael Essien, your Michael Ballack's, going through that time and time again. Mourinho sort of helped aid that, and it's continued more and more, and it used to happen a lot more previously. N'Golo Kante did it a couple of times. I know we all say with N'Golo Kante being here, there and everywhere and managing to win the ball back and that tenacity, but he still managed to produce the odd foul or two here and there when called upon and when needed to do so, because of street smart intelligence and knowing a break's on, we've overcommitted, we need to get back, create a foul, give us a bit of breathing space, that kind of thing. That obviously kind of works. Fabinho does that and has done that to a great extent over the course of his Liverpool career. Like I say, though, he represents something Liverpool don't have in terms of that physicality aspect in that midfield, that defensive work in that midfield, that just holding number 6 type of player. We don't have that. We can fill it with a player here and a player there for the odd game or two here and there, but it's not sustainable. It is very much not sustainable, and it's something that I think Liverpool definitely need to look at. I know there's been talk about Romeo Lavia, but Lavia is not a like-for-like replacement. Lavia is a different type of number 6. Lavia is more of your deep-lying playmaker. He's more of your ball retainer. He's more of your... I'm not saying he can't cover ground or he can't win the ball back or anything, but he's not as a destroyer or he's not as physical as what Fabinho is or what Fabinho can be. So that's just my issue with that kind of area. Then you look at Jordan Henderson and what he represents and what he brings to the squad. He's a player that brings a lot of experience, a lot of leadership, all of those qualities right off the bat that work both on and off the pitch. You look at the Liverpool squad and you look how they're regenerating. You look at how they're bringing in younger players or players that are just on the verge of entering into their prime, still needing that experience, still needing that leadership around them. And then you're getting rid of Jordan Henderson, the leader in that midfield, the captain that has been there as captain ever since Klopp took over. You're losing that aspect of a player and that big of a player in that squad throughout that entire course of Klopp's reign as manager. To sell him on to Saudi Arabia, to now look at this midfield and go, we haven't got stronger, we've got weaker. And it's set up, don't get me wrong, this midfield is completely set up for years' time, years down the line, years in advance, where this midfield is going to look very, very strong. But for the here and now, it's not good enough. Like, we were looking at it like a week ago or so, and we were looking at that midfield and going, right, Liverpool have done right here. They've managed to regenerate. They've managed to rebirth and resurrect that midfield. Bringing in Szoboszlai, he looks a real talent. He looks like a real talent. He looks like a quality player that is for the here and the now, and of course for somewhere down the line where he can continue to grow and he continue to work on his craft and elevate his game. Beautiful. You've got Alexis McAllister, a workhorse in midfield who's got a little bit of everything about him. He's got a bit of creativity. He's got a bit of flair. He's got a bit of ball-winning workhorse kind of aspect to him. Very, very hard work rate in terms of what he can bring to the table. But they're young. They're inexperienced. They need that experience. They need to have someone there to help get them through games and help them work through games and difficult experiences, difficult atmospheres, difficult scenarios, and everything else along those lines. And Henderson's been through it all. And after losing James Milner already this summer on a free transfer, I still think this is a stupid move by Liverpool to let Henderson go. Two players that have been there for years, two players that have got age and experience on their side, two players that are workhorses in that midfield. Letting both go at the same time is, in my opinion, a daft and really dumb decision. Obviously, I could be proven wrong. Maybe there's going to be a couple of experienced midfielders that are going to come in, and maybe that could work. Maybe they have experience of playing at top levels. Maybe they have experience of winning league titles. Maybe they've got experience of winning, and maybe they can come into the midfield, and maybe they could take on that role of a Henderson and be a leader in that midfield when called upon. I get why Henderson is wanting to leave. I get it. He sees himself as more of an important player. He sees his time at Liverpool has come to an end. He's seeking another challenge elsewhere. The financial aspect is obviously there as well, but we don't need to talk about that because that's obvious. That is obvious that the financial aspect of quadrupling or whatever it was, quintupling, whatever it was, his wages is obviously there. That's going to set him up for beyond retirement because, you know, he's not getting any younger. He's 32, 33 years of age. He's going to be moving on very, very soon. So he's going to be set up for life after this move. So it works out for him in a family aspect and as a post-retirement aspect. 100% get it. 100% understand it. And of course, there are other factors as well beyond him maybe seeing his footballing future be more important to the role he believes he should be playing than just a bit part player, which is ultimately, I think, what he would have been at Liverpool this season. Bit part player, you're playing here, you're playing there, you're playing for 25 minutes here, 20 minutes there, half an hour here, half an hour there. You're going to be you're going to be using rotation. We're going to use you in the cup games to help drive the younger players of the squad forward in those cup games. We're going to let you be the guy that comes in to tighten games up, to see the game through in tight situations, that kind of player. Henderson's gone, No, thanks. That's not really for me. I still think I've got a lot of importance to bring to a team, and that's why he's gone to Saudi Arabia. And of course, the extra incentive there is that he gets to link up once again with Steven Gerrard, a guy who obviously he played with and played alongside during the final years, or some of the final years of Gerrard's career. So there's a lot there to unpack and digest with Jordan Henderson. There is obviously the LGBT side of things. Again, how far do you go with that one? Like, I know he's been a fantastic ambassador. I know that it's obviously something that has been targeted by a lot of people in terms of this story, and people saying, "Oh well, how can you say that you are for this when you're going to a country that doesn't include people that are under this sort of banner, this sort of movement?" How far do you go with that one? At the end of it is a bit of a sticky subject, and it's something that I don't don't want to say too much on, because obviously at the end of the day it's Henderson's decision as to whether he goes or not, and whether or not he's going to use maybe his platform out there to maybe become some sort of ambassador in that sort of lion's den, so to speak, in that sort of area, in that sort of environment. Whether that will be the case or not remains to obviously be seen later on down the line. But it's a very sticky situation, and it's not just when you look at Henderson. Of course, there are other aspects and other areas of football and UEFA and FIFA in particular that have, of course, allowed this Saudi influence to embark on just football as a whole. So that kind of aspect of it is something that you can discuss and talk about, but in my opinion, it's until you get a definitive answer, we'll never truly know what the mindset of Jordan Henderson is if he is to go. So I can understand everything along those lines as to why he wouldn't go and everything. But like I say, talk seemingly have stalled on this one, as allegedly Henderson, Liverpool and the club Al Ettifaq of Saudi Arabia have allegedly stalled on an agreement with the deal. The Saudi Arabian club believe that they could probably get Henderson on a free transfer. Liverpool would be absolutely mad and bonkers to actually cash in. Well, not even cash in, but to give him away on a free transfer. That would have just been mad to me. But it has raised this very awkward sort of question as to whether or not this move will now go ahead. And if it does go ahead, fine, fair enough. Henderson moves on with his career. Liverpool have to move on without Henderson. And it, like I say, it leaves a big gap. It leaves a big void, not just in terms of the player that he is, the box-to-box industrious midfielder that we know Henderson can be, but it also leaves a hole in terms of, like I say, experience, age, leadership, those kinds of qualities as well, that of course are going to be big factors. And I will say once again, I think are in the modern day and modern age, very underrated and overlooked factors in the modern game. Remember, this isn't FIFA. This isn't FIFA where, you can control the players, and it doesn't matter about age, and it doesn't matter about experience, and it doesn't matter about leadership and all of those things. You can just control the players to do whatever you want. This is real life. And in real life, those qualities matter. Those qualities matter. And I'm looking at a midfield now that a week ago was looking very strong, had a lot of options to it, was getting me optimistic and excited ahead of the new season. And I look at it now and I'm thinking, if we lose Fabinho, that's a number 6 gone. That's a big part of our physicality missing from the middle of the pitch. If we're losing him, we lose a lot in that midfield area. If we lose Henderson as well, that's more experience gone. Because remember, like I say, Fabinho's been here 5 years. He's still got a lot of experience himself. He's 29 years of age. And of course, he's been through everything in those 5 years with Liverpool. He's been through the Champions League finals, winning and losing. He's been through the title races. He's been through the title clashes with Manchester City. He's been through everything. So that's another bit of experience gone. It's another bit of age and leadership gone. I don't see it. I still think this is a dumb idea. I still think this is a very dumb idea on Liverpool's part, that we're not doing more. Sell one, yes. Sell the other as well, no. Keep Henderson, in my opinion. Move on Fabinho, but at the same time, look at what we can do. Just to replace them. It's mad. It's mad. Hey Balam, how you doing, bro? Nice to see you, my dude. I'm very good, bro. Hope you are too. You was out earlier. Yeah, hope you had a good day, bro. We have an evening stream tonight with my schedule lining up as nicely as it has. No, so they've not gone yet, but Fabinho's looking more likely now than Henderson. Fabinho's been left off of the pre-season tour that Liverpool have got going on for them right now. So he's not travelled with the squad, so it does seem like he's going to be definitely going. Henderson, apparently the two clubs have not been able to agree a fee as of yet, so talks have seemingly stalled there, which, as I was saying, might make it a bit awkward, knowing that obviously if Henderson does stay, Henderson was very much open to the move of moving to Saudi Arabia and was so much open to it that he's even agreed personal terms to it. So yeah, it does seem a little bit weird and a little bit awkward, but yeah, it's we'll have to wait and see on this one. And I was just saying, like, I think this is a bad move on Liverpool's part. I think this is a very bad move on Liverpool's part to get rid of so much age, experience, and leadership. I think that it could damage Liverpool. And as I said last week, I was looking at Liverpool as a midfield that is going for a rebirth and a resurrection, and it was filling me with hope and optimism ahead of the future. And I was excited about this midfield and about what it could do for the new season, the different options that we had available to us. Trent moving into midfield, going back to the 4-3-3, going into the two in midfield with Trent there alongside Fabinho, and then you've got the likes of maybe Thiago, but you've also got the newcomers in Alexis McAllister and of course Dominic Szoboszlai. There was so many options there, and there was so many things that looked interesting and exciting to me. And now you could have it damaged again with losing Fabinho and losing Henderson, who, in my opinion, they aren't two of the greatest players that we have in our team right now. And Fabinho's still a little bit there because obviously he was so good for a time, and now he's seemingly dropped off a cliff in terms of his form and in terms of his performances, that it's not just about the players they are, but it's about what they bring to this squad, how they help complement this squad. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I'd love to know your take on it, mate, and love to know your take on it, and anyone else that's obviously listening and watching. Messi is joining today, apparently. Yeah, first signs of him in the new kit and everything. So it does seem like it's going to be very interesting to watch going forward, that move. Is Fabinho a legend? Henderson definitely is. Fabinho, I mean, he's won everything there is to win at a club, so he definitely goes down as at least some sort of fan favourite, some sort of club icon, I guess. But then do you class everybody in this sort of era of Liverpool as a club icon and a legend because of just winning everything? What would you classify as a legend? And does a legend have a sort of time frame on it? That's the question I want to know, because I think if I was to ask you, is Fabinho a legend? And if you said yes, which I think you may, I can go up to someone else who's a Liverpool fan and ask the same question, and they might say no. So I guess it would depend on what your definition of legend is and what the time frame is. Rice finally happened after 2 weeks. Yep, finally you can lay that all to rest. Declan Rice is an Arsenal player. Like I say, perfect fit for Arsenal and Mikel Arteta. a top target of theirs that they managed to sign. So not only is it a statement signing, but it's an impact signing as well. It's a powerful signing as well, I would say. I like I say, I've raved about this move a lot, and I'm you know, I'm not an Arsenal fan, so I can't really say I'm too happy about it. But at the same time, I am to be neutral, and I am to be completely honest about this. It is a brilliant move by Arsenal, a brilliant and powerful statement signing type move for the Gunners, and yeah, I think Declan Rice is going to go on to succeed at Arsenal. Whether it's going to bring a ton of trophies or not remains to be seen, but we shall see. Cult hero is more like Genie, I would have thought, because the way he leave, along with Matip. If he does, Matip is both a legend and a meme cult hero. Can you do a Matip jazz hands? I'm gonna say that to the big guy. Yeah, cool hero, icon, club favorite. I think again, Matip may have more time on his side. So again, it might be the time frame that you put on these kinds of titles and these kinds of buzzwords. Cool hero for Genie, yeah, I get it. Cool hero for so what is Origi? Is Origi a cult hero? Would you count Origi as a cult hero? I guess you would, right? I guess Origi would be another cult hero. But yeah, like I say, it's again, there's so many sort of tiers to how you leave a club in terms of how you're remembered. That again, I think if you went through a lot of players and you did some sort of tier list, you would have a lot of different answers for a lot of different players in that sort of realm of fandom. So yeah, I get it, but and to be honest, when it comes to Fabinho as well, I don't think a lot of players, a lot of fans are going to be. I wouldn't say massively bothered about Fabinho leaving, but I think with the way that he's performed this season, I think people are going to be like, okay, maybe it's time to move him on, because we've seen in the past recently Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and Naby Keita leave for nothing, so it actually makes sense that maybe we're looking at Fabinho, we're looking at 40 million, and we're going, fine, take him for 40 million. We'll take the 40 million because we can't afford to let another player that's got a bit of investment and a bit of interest in him, and obviously a lot of money within him, to go out on another free transfer. So maybe that is to be the case again. Is Deadly Dirt Cow? I love Dirt Cow. I loved Dirt Cow when I was growing up. Dirt Cow was incredible to me. Ran his socks off each and every single game. Not a bad finisher, and of course, I'll always remember his very close ranged hat trick that he scored against Manchester United. Yeah, as you go on to mention there, the hat trick against David De Gea. Yeah. Cool hero or legend? Ooh. Is icon the same as a legend, or is icon a step down from being a legend? Because I feel like there's a bit of a middle ground there, because he never won anything, but he never had the kind of team to, I guess. I don't know. I'd probably say cult hero, maybe, if we're gonna go cult hero or legend, because he never really won anything with Liverpool, did he? He never really had the silverware to back up how good of a player he was. Liverpool should have sold Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, etc., not lose them for free. Exactly what we just spoke about. Was he still a member of the team in 2012? Was he still there in 2012? That shows I'm getting old, that I can't even remember that. That shows you I am really, really getting old if I can't remember that. Let me just have a look. When did Dirk Cow? Sorry, top quality content. Me just checking something because of this. Yeah, he left Liverpool in 2012. Yeah, he left Liverpool in 2012. Yeah, which means he would have won. He would have had a League Cup winners medal to his name. Yeah, wow, that's incredible. That is A, over 11 years ago, and B, show you I'm getting old because I don't remember. I thought he left before that. I thought he left sort of the Torres sort of era. Apparently, some MLS matches are finally free on Apple TV today. I wonder why that is. Maybe driving up some interest ahead of a certain Lionel Messi, perhaps. Yeah, just building up some interest, giving it for free, and then going, this is what it looks like without Messi, and this is what it could look like with Messi. So, yeah, I'm guessing it's just building up some interest in that. Just obviously giving like a taster, sort of free promotional sort of thing. So, yeah. But yeah, Fabinho, Henderson, look, I'm not too crazy about them leaving. Fabinho, I'm more okay with, I guess, than Henderson. But at the same time, yeah, I don't know. With the whole Henderson thing. There's a lot of layers. There's more layers to the Henderson one than there is to the Fabinho one. So we'll have to wait and see on how both of these play out. But Fabinho does look like more he's going to be leaving than Henderson right now. But of course, the Henderson thing can always spring into life and action again. If obviously the two clubs can't agree a deal, it seems. Moving on, interesting tweet or interesting news from the Daily Mail over the past couple of days that stated that Wolves are showing interest in Keeman Kelleher. Now, of course, we have talked about Kelleher a little bit in this transfer window. He was attracting interest from Brentford at one point. That obviously has died down. And now it seems like he's going to be staying, but then again, maybe not. Maybe he is still seeking a move away to try and cement a number one position at another club down. Personally, I'd love to keep him. I think also it's better to keep him now because it obviously fills in another place for our homegrown English quota of a squad rotation, which, of course, if Henderson does go, is another reason why we shouldn't let him go because, again, he's English, he's homegrown, he fills in that quota of our squad rotation. That is another player we've got to then fill if he is to leave. So that is another reason why Henderson should stay. But yes, apparently Wolves are showing interest in him. Will be interesting, like I said before, time and time again. For Kelleher, I would understand completely if he was to want to leave Liverpool. If he wants to go on to obviously further and prolong his career, try and cement a place as the starting goalkeeper somewhere else, fine, fair enough, 100% completely understand. But Liverpool, as a backup goalkeeper goes, he's a fine goalkeeper, solid choice to obviously back up Alisson any day of the week, in my opinion. And like I say, he fills in a homegrown English quota, or homegrown quota at least, that of course Liverpool can use within their squad registration. So for me, I understand if he does go. I think for him, it might be best off to go. But I think for the club, for Liverpool, it's probably best off right now that they keep him. Is Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, Gomez, Trent Alexander-Arnold all untouchable for you this summer? Jones, yes. Elliott, yes. Trent, obviously, yes. And Gomez, again, it's Gomez. The Gomez one's interesting, like I say, because obviously he's homegrown, English, fills in that quota quite nicely, but I think it is time to move him on. But obviously, with everybody else seemingly wanting to leave that's homegrown in English, it might force Gomez to stay another year. Good Irish goalkeeper is staying. Liverpool will need a backup. Adrian needs to leave. You said that time and time again, bro. 100% understand you, by the way. Yeah, I completely get that. Take care, man. I'll try and watch you live tomorrow and Monday. Yeah, I'm gonna try and look to go live tomorrow at some point, or try and put out a video tomorrow, whichever one of the two it's gonna be. If there's gonna be enough news to talk about, I'll go live tomorrow. Or if there's some sort of big breaking story, I'll go live. Otherwise, I might just throw something together as a bit of a video. But Monday definitely will be back live regardless. So thanks for coming by, bro. Appreciate you. Taking the time out to come by and watch for a little bit, and appreciate you obviously getting involved in the chat. Very much appreciated, my dude. Thank you very much, and enjoy your Saturday night. Next story, Romelu Lukaku. Allegedly, the deal's off between Chelsea and Inter Milan for the Belgian forward. Fabrizio Romano took to Twitter earlier today to state that Inter have decided to leave negotiations for Romelu Lukaku. The deal is off. Chelsea to be informed soon. Inter are furious after being informed of talks between Lukaku and Juventus. Juve and Saudi remain as options for Lukaku for now. Juventus can only proceed if they sell Vlahovic. So, if that is to be believed, if there is some legitimacy and truth behind Fabrizio Romano, which, let's face it, in Serie A, you know, Romano is very good with his Serie A stuff. Obviously, being Italian himself, obviously has a lot more know-how and interest, and obviously a lot more knowledge, shall we say, of the Italian side of the game. If that's to be believed, and that's genuine, we know that obviously Vlahovic has been attracting a lot of interest. Of course, Tottenham were seemingly interested, but whether that's going to be a domino effect to maybe what's going to happen with Harry Kane, we'll wait to see. PSG, Bayern Munich, both of them are looking for strikers. Both have been linked with Vlahovic and Kane, obviously, in recent days. So maybe there is a bit of a domino effect there that's may take into account. It does remain to be seen. And it could be, again, like it could be some sort of domino effect. Maybe it is going to be that Vlahovic goes to PSG, Mbappe goes to Real Madrid sell Tchouaméni to Arsenal, and maybe that's a bit of a domino effect there. Or it could be Kane goes to Bayern after so-and-so happens, and after Vlahovic goes to PSG, and or whatever else it may be. Like, there's a lot can happen there. There's a lot that can happen there in terms of a ripple effect, in terms of obviously a domino effect. There's a lot that can happen there. It's going to make for interesting viewing what is going to happen. The intriguing thing is the fact that obviously we knew, or there were rumors about Lukaku's interest in joining Juventus. Those rumors have been going about for like a week or two, maybe, and Inter are only finding out now. And Inter, like a very jealous partner, have basically gone, you were talking to someone, that's it, this is over. You know, it's weird. I don't know what Inter's obsession with Lukaku was in the first place. Inter's obsession with Lukaku, very strange to me, and especially after his performance in the Champions League final, I didn't really think they'd want him back or to stay permanently. But allegedly they did, and obviously Lukaku's had a lot of interest in him from Saudi Arabia and from Italy. Italy is a league that he knows and is comfortable with, and a culture and a country that he knows and is comfortable with. So it obviously seemed perfect for him to go back to Italy and to Serie A in a league that he knows and is slower and more suitable towards him. But doesn't seem to be the case now, unless obviously Juventus go in for him. And obviously that appears to only be the case, according to Romano, if they sell Vlahovic. And as we know, Vlahovic has been attracting a lot of interest, and it could genuinely be a possibility. So watch out in the next few days if obviously some sort of domino effect does come about of this. Would be very interesting. I think he's going to turn his attention to Saudi. I genuinely think he's going to turn his attention to Saudi Arabia at some point. There were conflicting rumors and reports that allegedly he was open to the idea of joining Saudi. Maybe that was going to be the case. And then, like I say, there were conflicting reports that he was open to it and that he actually didn't think too much of it and all of that stuff in between. But yeah, do keep your eye on this one. Romelu Lukaku, where could he be going this summer? Remains to be seen. So now we're going to round things off by talking about maybe some of Liverpool's options going forward. We talked obviously about Fabinho leaving. That seems to be the case. We talked about Henderson leaving. That may or may not be happening now. That one's on a bit of a knife edge, it seems. So what about life after them two? Replacements. Romeo Lavia is a name that has obviously been linked with Liverpool a lot. Even before this whole Fabinho news broke, Romeo Lavia was a name that was linked and strongly linked at that with moving to Liverpool this summer. He's not a direct and straightforward replacement to Fabinho as what we would like. He could be a good option for the here and now. He'll be an even better option in the year's time when he's older, he's gained more experience, and he develops and takes his game up to new levels by becoming a better player. Could be good for the long term, not so much for the short term. Sofian Amrabat. Quality engine in the middle of the pitch. We saw that a lot with obviously Morocco. A leader. Very much a leader in that midfield, and we are in need of a leader right now in that midfield because, like I say, you get rid of Henderson, you get rid of Fabinho, 2 leaders, 2 experienced players. Your experienced player after that who's been with the club a lot, obviously, is Curtis Jones then. I know there's Thiago, but let's face it, Thiago's not always going to be around because I can't guarantee that Thiago is going to have a season in which he's going to be there for between 30 and 38 games. It's just not a guarantee. It's not going to happen. Liverpool need a leader. Liverpool need some legs in that midfield. Amrabat, for me, would tick both boxes. But has his head already been turned by Manchester United? Remember, we talked about Amrabat in the past. Whilst obviously the price tag and the fee may actually be achievable for what Liverpool are looking for and for the FSG model, maybe his head has already been turned by Manchester United, and we have talked about him being linked with Manchester United in the past. So maybe, just maybe, that deal might be off the table. But it's not over until it's over. Remember that. It's not over till it's over. And of course, things can move very quickly, as we've seen with this whole Fabinho situation. Could Kefren Thuram, could that deal reignite itself now that obviously things have changed? It's a possibility. He ticks the replacement for Jordan Henderson sort of criteria in terms of an industrial, hard-working midfielder. That is fine. Not necessarily a leader yet. Not necessarily a leader yet. Could be someone that could grow into one, but is not there yet. I'd love to know if anyone else has any thoughts or comments on who Liverpool should get as a replacement. But like I say, I'm not so keen on this idea of getting rid of both. I'm just not keen on getting rid of both. And I'm not keen on the idea of especially Henderson leaving. Especially when you consider that we're bringing in some young players that are going to need to learn from those experienced and age-type players. I'm just not so sure. Anyway, guys, I'm going to call it there. I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you all for watching and listening. These, of course, have just been thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. I'd love to know what you guys think on field. Any of the stories that I've talked about, feel free to hit the like button on the way out. Feel free to subscribe if you're new or want to see more content like this. Both things always and forever be greatly appreciated. And of course, feel free to hit the comment section with anything that you think or feel, or thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, all of that good stuff, and any of the stories that I talked about or want to talk about. All of that will make for great and interesting reading. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way. I've enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new or want to see more content like this. Both things always and forever be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video, or all new news live stream, should I say. And I will see and speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever the hell it will be. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good night.